Hello, I'm going to make a one-dish dinner. These are Brussels sprouts. I'm putting some salt in because if there's any little bugs, it'll leach out the bugs as I rinse them. And then I'm going to drain them into a strainer. Make sure, get out all that. Rinse them again. Now if there's any little dead leaves, we can pull these out and see, make sure that all in here there's like dirt. You have to kind of look at every one and clean that out. And then I'm going to be putting some potatoes. You don't want to eat the green part of the potato, that's solanine. And this is like not healthy. So you might want to peel the parts that have turned green. So I can just get my little peeler and a good way to do that would be to just do it right on the counter. I leave all the pieces that I don't want. And then when it comes time to throw it away, an easy way, see if there's no green, it's fine, because there's just little parts of it that have green, but not all of it. And I'm going to cook it all into this one pan. And we're going to put this in my new Wolfgang Puck Nova Pro oven, which is over here. Let me show this to you. So this is going to cook my roast. I have a pork roast. It's a little bit defrosted. And this is a pressure cooker here. And this is a regular convection oven here. So I'm going to put this all, cut it up and get it prepared, and then I will show you what it looks like. An easy way to clean this is to take your wastebasket and then just shovel off the peelings. That way it's clean, you don't have to, ruin your garbage disposal, and it's fast and easy. Now that I've got the potatoes here, I'm going to slice them into chunks. I'm using not that kind of a knife. It's best to use a knife that's sort of like a chef's knife. And cut them in even chunks so they all cook at the same time. Because if you cook them in the same pan, you want them to be the same size. That way it cooks evenly, and you're not going to have some that are raw and some that are too done. So I'm going to be cutting up these pieces into chunks that are relatively the same size, and then I'm going to place them by these Brussels sprouts. The reason I'm using Brussels sprouts is because these are very dense vegetables, so they are going to take a longer time to cook. Of course, I'm going to have to add a broth or some sort of moisture to keep, them moist, because if I were to use, let's say, spinach or even broccoli, that's a soft vegetable and it's going to be mushy. But using this with the potatoes or using root vegetables such as carrots would be good in this kind of a dish. Okay, so I'll put that around. And that's it until I get to my roast. Okay, so now I've got my chunks of potatoes, Brussels sprouts, and I added some shallots to give it a little kick flavor. Now I'm going to put some fresh ground pepper. I'm cracking it myself, so it's going to give it that fresh flavor. And I'm going to put some on the bottom too, so then that way it's not just the top, the whole thing. And for a little kick, a little Cajun seasoning. And of course we want to get this all spices throughout your vegetables. Sometimes I add a little paprika. Excuse me. I'm going to get some paprika to give it a little color in the potatoes. Now to give it moisture, extra virgin olive oil, pour a little on top, coating my roast and potatoes. Then some soy. This gives it a little salt flavor. Okay, so now I'm going to take a little soy. I'm going to put that on top just a little bit. Give it a little bit of flavor. And just a tad bit of water. Baptizing them. So you don't have to tell them. Now I'm going to just add a little touch of water. So this is going to steam. Okay, so now we're going to put this inside the middle rack of the oven. And I shut this here. I close this down. And I'm going to turn the seal to kind of lock it in. Righty-tighty and lefty-loosey. And then I'm going to give it, oh, I have to warm this. I'm supposed to preheat this on, I'm going to put this on roast. Let's see, roast. And then I'm going to put this, I'm supposed to preheat this, and I'm going to give it about 400. Okay. Let that cook, and we'll see what happens. So now it's cooked. I'm taking it out. I have released the seal. This releases the pressure, and I've lifted this up. And now, see this nice, juicy, beautiful roast. I'm going to put this over here. So I'm going to let it rest. We tented and we let it rest for about 15 minutes with a foil, and then we'll slice it up at an angle, and that's how we made this roast.
Looks good to me.
Now I'm taking a sheet of aluminum foil, and I'm going to be placing this over the roast, and it's called tenting it. I'm going to let it rest. Why do we let this meat rest? Because if you let the meat rest after you take it out of the oven for about 15 minutes, the juices will go back into the meat and it'll keep it moist. So this is my technique. We let it sit here, and I will show you the difference. You'll taste the difference in 15 minutes.